Hello everyone and welcome to episode 4.
Yes.
Eventually I'll get that memorised. Episode 4 of the Attic Gaming Club podcast. First up is an apology from me. Last week, if you've been listening to the show, you might have noticed that we were missing an intro last week. That was because
Adam sucks.
Yeah, my recording software basically just kind of flipped out and didn't save the first portion of the show, so that's why there was a kind of a random cut with Dave singing.
Yeah.
But we're back this week, slightly less in number. With me today we have Tom.
Hello.
And Dave.
Stinkanoodle.
Yeah. Stink what?
Oh.
Whatever.
First thing that came into my head.
That's worrisome. But that's cool. 3 of us, still a party.
3's a crowd, so Tom, go home.
Oh,
No.
so rude.
Me and Adam going to have some fun.
But yeah, so cool. So what's everyone been up to recently?
I have not been up to very much. I have ordered my Tree Man Ancient. I'm going to use my Wood Elf list. I've already got 2 of the GW ones to use as my 2 rare Tree Men. So I wanted something different to use as the 3rd one, rather than just buying another one and painting it differently. And there's a lot of possible models.
Is it a Forge World model?
No. I don't think Forge would actually do a Tree Man.
Is it not a GW model?
No, it's not a GW one. I'm using the... it's now called Mace Miniatures.
Never heard of them.
Which is what Maelstrom Games' Bane Beasts range used to be.
Right. It's not the Tree Woman, is it?
No, that's the Ultra Forge one you're thinking. That was another one I was looking at, but that was just a bit too different.
Yeah, it is.
There are a few others I looked at which were maybe a bit too cartoony or what have you for my taste. So I went with the Mace one. I decided to...
was it the boobs on the Tree Woman? Is that what put you out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I decided to give whatever they're called now, Maelstrom, effectively a second chance. Fortunately, I wasn't involved in... I didn't lose any money in what happened with their debacle a little while ago, so I don't see too much of a reason to boycott them. So hopefully this will arrive next week, and if it doesn't, I will unleash a mighty rain of fury on them.
We can hear the boos and hisses coming from the audience already.
Probably, yeah. I just for reference, I personally don't condone anything they did, but I don't see any reason why I should stop that from me buying their nice models.
Yeah.
Disclaimer, Tom's opinions do not reflect those of the management, nor those of the podcast. If you hate Maelstrom, so do we. If you don't hate Maelstrom, we don't either. It's all good game. But cool.
So that's done. I've finished off the Wood Elf list I was writing for 2,600 points for this tournament at the
Is that
start
because
of
of your
March.
compact stuff? You get the extra 200 points? Yeah. Nice.
I've basically trimmed off a bit of fat and gone for a little less redundancy in the list. So it will suffer more from certain losses, but there's less fat on the list, which I think overall makes it better. So now I just need to go and start play testing that to death.
Cool. Well, you can always try that out around here.
Yeah,
at some point. I mean, I do have the models to put together the dirty Skaven tournament lists.
Yeah.
I just choose not to. So if you want to play test it, I'm happy to try, and you can do that kind of
Sounds
stuff.
good.
And Dave, well.
Yeah.
Dave can play one type of Warriors army because that's all he's got the models for.
Yeah, but I can just proxy everything. That's what I do anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's about everything I've been up to this last week, really. Well, it's not quite. I've been trying and failing to make a Pokemon team which just doesn't get utterly destroyed as soon as I leave, the small pool where all the bottom feeders like me dwell, because we're not good enough to swim for big fish.
This is the Pokemon Online thing,
Yeah,
isn't
Pokemon
it?
Online I play a lot of. But I just can't seem... I went for a stage where I came up with a team which did relatively well in the metagame, because we essentially got what was the introduction of Mournfang to Fantasy, if Mournfang were reduced to being about half their points cost.
Right.
But now the metagame's changed again, and I can't really adapt to it, so I'm getting hammered at the moment, so I'm taking a bit of time off from that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And that's basically everything I've been up to this last week.
Cool. Dave Ramunda.
Whoa, Nelly. I have been reading Flight of the Eisenstein, the 4th book in the Horus Heresy series, and I finished it, and I really enjoyed it. I liked all the politicalness and stuff, but that generally gets me off in books anyway. And I've just started Thankwall's first book that you lent me. I got up to about page 16 before I fell asleep on the train, but that's because I was tired, not because the book was boring. Gracie, that one. And that's so far interesting, what I kind of expect of the descriptiveness of Skaven and their crazy speak and all the inner workings of their mind, where everyone's out to get them and they're the bestest all the way. It seems like everyone is the chosen and is divine to be the horned rat's assailant and helper or whatever, and everyone else is just rubbish, which I like. They're all very selfish.
I'm currently reading the third one in the series, which is
Thanquor's Doom.
Thanquor's Doom.
That's right downstairs.
Yeah, and it's like the first two are good, but they kind of almost split it, sometimes not even 50-50 between the protagonists and I guess what would be, the heroes, even though they're not the Skaven, i.e., the kind of main people of the book. So it's kind of like if you're reading it for the Skaven side of it, the first two books are almost like there's a bit too much other stuff going on. But the third book, they seem to sort of address that balance, and it's like 90% based on the Skaven's point of view in all situations, and then 10% are here are the things that they're trying to fight with this time, So I actually, I'm only like a fifth of the way through or something, but I'm much preferring the
So maybe
book.
it's 90% of the first 20% of the book, and then after that you're going to be stuffed.
That's true. That's true.
You'll find out soon, I guess.
Indeed.
Other than that, I bought a new board game, Formula D, which I played before, but I've been trying to get hold of since Christmas. It was sold out, and it's arrived now, and it's there, and it's lovely, and it's got lots of gooby stuff, and it's really good fun. And what you do is you race around the track like you would in Formula 1, and you have to roll lots of cool dice, depending how fast you're going, to try and brake properly and go around the corners, and if you don't, you take damage. And you can play with up to 10 people, and it's just simple but really silly and fun.
Yeah, it's a really good game.
It is a cool game. And I also got up to some painting. Woo!
Lies.
Adam doesn't believe it, and wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't sent him a photo showing that I'd been doing it.
Yeah, to be fair though, the photo that you sent shows you painting some black on a dwarf.
No, it was flesh coloured. Or was it black? Had I not put the flesh on by then?
No,
Okay.
it was black.
Well,
it's like you'd undercoated some stuff.
That's more than I've done in a few years.
That's true.
So there you go. Yeah, I just I started working out the flesh on one of my Marauders as a test model, and just messing around on an old, second-ed dwarf from the original painting kit or something, so that I could get back into the swing of things.
So have you actually painted any more since then?
I've done the flesh on the Marauder, yeah. Or
The one Marauder.
The one Marauder, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm having trouble with it because I never used to paint flesh ever, so this is the first time for me. So looking for some tips later, maybe, I don't know.
Cool.
Some ideas on that. And other than that, that's about it, really, playing computer games and things.
Cool.
And now I'm here. And you are all blessed.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, for me, what did I do? Last weekend, I finally painted some Escher. Woo! Like I've been saying, I've been painting, I've been testing a lot, but I actually painted 2 whole models, which I thought was quite good.
They do look pretty cool.
Yeah. Built some more Mordheim house thing that you can see over there. Built a bunch of stuff with the first dance blocks, but ran out, so I need to cast some more stuff.
They didn't go very far, did they?
Well, no, that's not all of them.
Oh, okay.
But that's all of that particular type. Like, I cast a load of floor panels up, and I didn't have enough to make all of the floor. But the walls are all done.
Yeah. Oh, so you've done a bit of everything to just see how the blocks turn out.
Yeah.
And then, okay.
But I ran out of floor panels, so
yeah,
I need to cast some more of them. So I did that. And I'll tell you something that I did find. It's kind of news, but not really news. I found...
Are we not doing news yet?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember I found all that Mordheim resources? So like a huge file of all of the old, articles from White Dwarf and from the annuals and from all the stuff that GW has since discontinued on the internet. In a magical place, there is a file that contains all of this information. So we got that, and that's
it's like
great.
the Toys R Us advert, isn't it?
Yeah. The internet is a magical place.
In a magical place where all power there, the Mordheim resources are under one roof. It's called Adam's Place.
Anyway,
Is it in a pineapple under the sea?
a pineapple on a frog on a log under the sea. Anyway,
It's in yellow and porous is he?
so
What have I begun?
I also found one for Necromunda.
Yay! Wait, don't we have all of that stuff anyway?
No, not even close.
Oh, really?
That's what I thought.
Because I found one that had a lot of old stuff.
Well, maybe
I
you
didn't
duplicate.
share it.
Yeah, maybe you didn't.
Oh.
Because I didn't have any of this.
Boo to me.
But again, it's all the stuff from the Fanatic magazine, which was the Specialist Games magazine that they did. White Dwarf. It wasn't one file, it was like a whole
Lots
bunch.
of different... Yeah, I think I've seen a similar website or place with them all.
So I've been reading through all of these alternate
cool
gangs and scenarios and stuff like that, looking at stuff that we could play. And I really want to
cool.
start a squat miner gang.
No.
So
I've read their stuff as well.
yeah, so it's just a bunch of squat miners. They've all got movement 3, but all got toughness 4.
Wow. That immediately is going to make things tough.
But they got loads of crazy, like, hand-to-hand, like, steam axes and stuff like this, and las cutters and stuff like this.
That'd be pretty cool.
But it seems quite fun, but I don't know how balanced it is. But they
play it as a joke gang, and if we think you're extremely cheesily overpowered, then we'll not play you anymore.
True. And it gives me an opportunity to use some dwarves. I want to buy some plastic dwarves to use. I thought that'd be kind of cool.
You can buy some chaos dwarves, because they're all kind of like steam, coal, blackened.
Yeah, you could do.
I suppose it depends how you paint it.
It's a bit expensive for...
Yeah, as we mentioned before, I suppose.
That's what I thought.
Expensive.
I literally could buy, I reckon, a box of plastic dwarves, like miners or something. I think they're 10 to a box.
Something like that.
Even if they're 20. But that would be it, because I've got all the guns and all that sort of stuff in my bits box already, so that literally be it. One box, bosh, done, new gang.
Yeah.
And they're quite expensive as well, so there's relatively small gangs. But there's loads of really cool gangs. I was looking at a vampire gang, which is vampires.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Vampires
you have
of the future.
essentially
Just change the spelling of their name.
Was it the YPR spelling or whatever? But yeah, they're kind of cool. They have loads of funky rules about draining life force from people. So if they beat a Juve in combat, they can try and sort of transfix them, because the Juves are considered to be young and impressionable. You can't do it to gangers or heavies or leaders, but you can do it to Juves. And like if you capture things after the game, then there's a chance that you can convert them to be thralls. And there's all this kind of other stuff. So there's like 3 or 4, I guess, like true vampires in the gang. So they're really expensive, really high. Well, not really high stats actually. They're relatively low. You know, they start with like weapon skill 4 and strength 4.
Human and a bit.
Yeah, exactly. But they've only got 1 wound. They've got 1 attack. So they're relatively normal compared to some of the crazy stuff that you see in these sort of lists. But they've got all these funky powers with regards to changing other people to their way.
So what are the other gangers like? Are they just Jews?
They're thralls, which are like Jews. Yeah, they're kind of crappy gangers. So you've either got these guys that are slightly better than normal gangers, or guys that are slightly worse. And they don't have heavy weapons, and they don't have anything crazy like that. And loads of stuff gets like hatred against them because of the types that they are. So again, I'll share this resource with you later.
Sounds good.
And if anyone listening wants this, by the way, I'll happily put a link. I believe that I got it from a different site, but Necromunda is a popular web-based resource for Necromunda.
That rings a bell.
Yeah. And I believe they host it as well, but I think you have to register to be able to get access to it. The forum I found just had all the links. So if anybody wants it, just leave us a comment in the YouTube vid or send me an email, and I'll happily share where I got it from. I would say it now, I just can't remember.
Bob.com.
Sure, go to bob.com. It might be there.
See what you get.
So that's cool. So I thought that would be kind of fun to sort of spice up the Necromunda campaigns. We could each carry on with our normal gangs, but we
make
could
a silly one as well.
Make a silly gang as well. Don't take it too seriously.
Chaos Space Marines.
No.
Just saying.
Gene Stealers.
330 points each.
Gene Stealers are a relatively balanced gang. I used to play them.
Okay.
Gene Stealer cultists, because again, it's the same sort of thing. You get one
like
pure strain,
one
who's really hard, and then everyone else sucks.
Okay.
So they're relatively balanced, but the Gene Stealer pure strain is like 320 creds, and you can only have one.
Oh.
And if he dies, that's it. You can never recruit another one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're quite hard, but they're okay. But yeah, so I found that, so that was kind of cool.
Awesome.
But yeah, other than that, not really up to much. Buying loads of stuff, spending money I don't have.
Bad. Stop.
Oh, and I should mention that
Spending
I did
money.
get the Necromunda models that I mentioned in the last podcast.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, so I now have almost a complete Necromunda gang. I'm only missing one model, which is the alternate leader model with the sword.
Yes.
That's the only model I don't have.
How much does that go for on eBay's?
About £10. So I'm in no rush to get it because I have no use for it in my gang, unlike
Just
these
would
other
be
models.
nice to-
So I'm going
nice
to keep
to-
looking out for one, see if I can pick it up reasonably cheap. If I can, I'll get it. If not, and once I finish painting all the rest and just want to finish the collection, I'm just going to buy it for a tenner. But, for now, I'm in no rush.
Cool. Yeah, that works.
But yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. So, let's move on to some news. Tom, you look like you got something to
I
say.
actually have news. Right.
Wait. BBC theme. Da-da, da-da, da-da-da, boom.
That's
There we go.
not the news thing.
It is now.
Please take us away, Tom.
Facepalm.
Yes. Anyway, new stuff. This has probably been out for a little while, seeing as the picture's been around online. But I don't think we've covered it before. Picture from White Dwarf. Finally, GW doing Plastic Eagles. Woo! Finally. 2 in a box. We may have already mentioned this. It's 2 in a box for, I think, £30. It might be £25, which is a little bit steep, but obviously you're not obliged to buy it from Games Workshop. I certainly won't be. And yeah, they're for Lord of the Rings, so I don't actually know how the scale is going to match up. But I'm very pleased to see that at last, because I think Plastic Eagles, I don't know why it's taken them so long to do them. You think how many they could have sold to all High Elf and Wood Elf players.
How expensive are the metal ones then?
They're similar, but the problem I've had with metal things like that in the past is that they just don't stay together.
Yeah,
I've tried pinning the wings, green stuff in the wings, swearing furiously at the wings. They just don't go together particularly well, whereas a plastic one you can throw against the wall and it'll bounce off and come back in the same amount of pieces, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
So, Plastic Eagles from GW get my official double thumbs up, which is really good.
Have you actually got a hold of any yet? Or?
No, not yet. They don't go on sale until I think the 12th of January. But there are pictures of them in the new White Dwarf.
So tomorrow.
Is that tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. So by the time you hear this, they'll probably be on sale. So
such is your elation that you've given them a double thumbs up before even owning any. But there you go.
I don't care.
That's how happy Tom is.
I want Plastic Eagles because I love plastic as a modelling material. I just find it so much nicer. I like metal for single characters, but just one piece characters. If I have to glue bits together, anything like that at all, I'd much rather have it in either fine cast or plastic. If there's no assembly required, metal all the way.
I remember when I got into GW and stuff. Generally, the first time around, I was Orcs, and it was I think 40k second ed. And back then, there was very much a mentality that if the model wasn't made of metal, it was rubbish because the plastics then weren't very good generally. Okay. And even though plastic was still easier to work with for certain things, it didn't have the details. Everyone was like, "Oh, plastic, don't want it." And they were quite a lot cheaper than them ones then as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the same as when I got in. I remember buying Plague Monks for £1.70 for 2 in GW. It's like that was the blister pack. You got 2 Plague Monks, £1.70. So you could build up a unit of 30, and it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't horrific.
Comparatively expensive.
Whereas now, we all know the cost of GW. There's no point going through that again. But it's significantly cheaper to buy things in plastic, which is great for everyone.
Yeah.
I've seen the models as well, and I really like them. And you know what? I think even if they're on Lord of the Rings scale, they're still giant eagles in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, they'll be big birds.
Exactly, so I think they'll probably...
That's a good idea.
They're big birds.
So I think they'll be really nice as well.
Only other thing I've noticed that has been announced gaming-wise is, I'm probably the only person in the world interested in this, Pokemon X and Y announced for, I think, October of this year, which will be interesting. Obviously Dave's not very interested. I think it's pretty cool. I'm a big Pokemon fan.
I enjoyed the original Pokemon games, but I quickly lost interest on the 79th iteration.
If you don't enjoy it, you won't get a huge amount out of each of the new games.
I can see why people
do
like
enjoy
them,
it, like I do. I love it. So that's going to be cool. It's still obviously quite a long way away, but there are pictures up online which you can find pretty easily. So no point dwelling on that. Let's see what else. Dave, what have you got in the news?
This just in, there is a tub of things on the table.
That's not a good thing.
Why not?
Shaking things at the microphone.
Bad microphone. Naughty.
Come on.
I got nothing.
Okay.
I have one thing. Kingdom Death Monster. Looks amazing, but I can't afford it, so I didn't buy it. I'm just going to have to wait until it actually eventually comes out and I can cry that I didn't get all the bonus stuff from the Kickstarter, but maybe still afford it because I'm not paying £50 worth of shipping from the US or something.
Oof.
Or whatever it came to. I think it was £45, so maybe that's £30, but it's still a lot.
It's a lot of shipping.
When it's so much money for all the other stuff, and things are tight after Christmas, so didn't get that, but was looking at the site and it still looks amazing, so you can go to their store and buy some of their models if you like them. I don't know. I'm not trying to sell their stuff because I don't get commission, but there you go. And the other thing is slightly not gaming, but do you remember that Kickstarter we saw with the light bulbs at Wi-Fi that had the different colours on them?
Yes.
and I can't remember the name of them, but they weren't by any big name companies.
Yes.
Well, I saw at CES, Philips have announced that they are doing, I think it's the Philips Hue,
Okay.
and it's basically the same thing.
I-
So either they've sold it to them, or they've stolen the idea, or something. I'm not making accusations here, I'm just... That's where I've seen it.
After, we won't spend too much time on this, but after I saw that Kickstarter, I found those light bulbs on the internet for sale now anyway.
Oh, really?
So they're not even the first people to do that.
Maybe
They may be doing
improved
it
upon
better.
or something.
Yeah,
okay.
I think the difference was that their one was a light bulb controllable via an app on a phone, as opposed to the ones that I saw where you had like a remote control.
Yeah.
And I believe their ones networked together, whereas the other ones were separate entities.
Oh, okay. I think the Philips one, it looked like it was all done via app and stuff, but yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
Cool.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's all about me for the news. I think there's nothing else. I haven't got any Skull White or Chaos Black or the new versions of them, so I'm going to have to buy some.
That's not news.
Yes, it is. News to me, because
I've
I didn't
got
find out
news.
until I tried painting.
Shut your mouth. Another Kickstarter, another board game. It's
Oh.
called Rivet Wars.
Don't want to know.
Those are the models.
Do I have to look at these?
yeah.
Oh my god, I want this game.
I haven't really looked
They
into
look
it. I haven't really looked into it that much, to be honest. I only saw it pop up the other day.
So you
But-
saw models and decided you want it, basically.
Well, I am actually not that enamoured with the models. They're okay. It's kind of like overly, if you know the Japanese term, chibi.
No, I'm afraid I don't know.
Big head, big eyes, small body.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
The robot in that one reminds me a little of the general guy from Return to Oz. TikTok.
Yeah, it does a little bit, you're right. But yeah, so you think about like a really kind of cartoony, over-exaggerated style where these soldiers are walking around with like big iron helmets and sort of small guns and kind of like, almost like Super Dungeon Explorer.
Oh, it's Cool Mini or Not?
Yeah, it's always Cool Mini or Not. That's
I was going to say the box art looks really good, and then I got that far and realised it was Cool Mini or Not, so there you go.
So like the Super Dungeon Explorer style is called chibi. That's kind of that style.
I quite like that.
Well, you know
Yeah,
one thing
okay.
at least then, it being made by Cool Mini or Not, that the model's going to be plastic and you're not going to be able to do anything to them because they're like concrete.
Made of iron plastic. But yeah, so it looks interesting.
It does look interesting.
Again, it's got like 30 days left on it. It's only just started.
That means you can get the early sold out, like cheaper versions.
Yeah.
That I normally see at the last minute and after 15 iterations have gone by and aren't there.
Yeah.
So
How many days does it have? Hold on.
23.
23 days left. So
And it's almost hit $200,000. So
out of what have they made the funding?
yeah, they wanted 25k, so they'd more than.
Yeah. So I'll actually do some proper research into it
quadrupled
before next week and like watch the videos and we can talk about how it looks and plays as a game. But I thought that was kind of interesting.
$90 for the main game.
$90. It's not too bad.
No, it's wrong.
So yeah.
It's about like what, 60 quid, which is what you expect for a big board game with lots of bits.
Yeah. I'm okay
Especially if
paying
it's
that
brand
sort
new.
of stuff, yeah. Cool. So yeah, I think that's it for the news this
Okay.
week. Yeah, so gaming this week.
What are we doing tonight, even?
What are we gonna? That's what I mean. What we're
Well,
gonna play tonight?
Well, lads, if you want, I have, as promised, brought. No, it's not the box of stuff that was on the table. That sounds like this. This is Among the Stars, the game by Artipia Games that I got from Essen Spiel this year. Or last year even, 2012. And I explained it before, it's a card game where you build space stations and stuff, and it's really awesome, it's really quick, and we're going to play it. And if you don't want to play it, you can get out.
Sounds good. Getting out, I mean. Not
Oh, but
Wood.
yeah, sounds good. I've not really played very many card
I shall show you the box
before,
contents
so
and you can describe them for the camera.
pretty cool. I see paper.
Here is a book. Here are the power tokens. They're like little clear cubes.
Yep.
Monies, character cards, and then lots of decks of space station bits and a victory point track. And there you go.
Cool.
Have a peek.
do they connect together? I assume.
Yeah, you just lay them down like so. They're square cards, and you lay them down next to each other, adjacent, orthogonally, not diagonally.
So it's really like that game we were playing.
It is, yeah.
Right. Okay.
You know what this reminds me
Slight
a little
variances
bit
and
of?
stuff.
The
I
game
don't. Why don't
I've
you
not
like this?
played? I don't think it ever got anywhere, but my brother and I must have played this years and years and years ago, which was the Alien vs Predator card game.
Never played. Didn't even know it
neither.
existed.
I don't think it was very good. It
Okay,
reminds
so
me
it's a good thing.
It's like a card-based game where you built the spaceship and then added things on. I don't really remember how well, but it reminds me vaguely
Of all the things in AVP to capitalise on, I wouldn't think it would be building the spaceship that they use.
No, you had like one person played as the Marines and they had to try and build a spaceship and find things in it, and the other one was an alien who tried to kill them. And
Well, they got that much right.
I really don't remember it very much.
Oh,
It just reminded me of it.
Cool. Well, there you go.
How long does it take to play?
You can do it in about half an hour. An hour if you take ages like I do, or if you've got 4 people.
Okay.
Is there quite a big Dave phase?
No.
Just lots of Dave rules.
Where Adam and I sit there for about 5 or 6 minutes just staring at Dave while he decides which card to use.
There can be.
A choice of 2.
But that is the phase you will find in any game because I always win.
Okay. Alright, well, yeah, I mean, we can play that, and, if it doesn't take that long to play, we might be able to either give it a couple of run-throughs or stick in the Necromunda game as well.
Yeah. Oh, there's definitely be time to play something else, if not another game of this or whatever.
Cool.
Sounds
All right,
good.
then. So we'll play that, and I guess, if we do decide to play something else, we'll just talk about that afterwards.
So there.
Among the stars.
Awesome. Alright, well, we will call it here, and, listen to this song, enjoy it, and we will be back with some information about how the game went afterwards.
Oh my god, it's full of stars. Where's the quote from? You get a point if you write it on YouTube.
Oh! It was part of the... Actually, I'm going to quickly, before we go...
Are you getting the point already?
No.
Okay, good.
I should mention...
Yes, you should.
Because it got cut off in the intro last week.
Did it?
That we...
No.
unanimously have heard back regarding your
balls
Mordheim. Which model should I use for my warband thing?
Should it be Krell or should it be the White Knight? King, damn it, White King.
White King.
Fuck's sake.
The unanimous decision was that nobody gives a shit.
Boo.
No one cared enough to make a comment, Dave. So
yeah. Well, whatever. I think for fun's sake, I'm probably going to go with Krell just because he's cool. And if anyone cares, I've decided to use the ghoul models for the ghouls because they're actually pretty cool, and the zombies are going to be skeletons because that kind of works, or maybe I'm going to use skeletons for my dregs because humans just look poo and I don't want to go with humans in my undead-looking undead band. And there you go, that's it, shut up Dave.
But yeah, that's it. So yeah, enjoy that, and we will actually be going now playing a game. So yeah, enjoy this song, and we'll catch you in a bit.
Okay, bye.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Attic Gaming Club podcast.
Woo yeah woo!
So we've just finished playing a couple of games of Among the Stars, the board game that Dave brought over today. Tom's unfortunately had to shoot off to catch a train because we ended up playing quite late. But Dave and I are still here, so we're going to talk a bit about the game, what we thought,
Just
how
a
it
bit.
played out. Yeah.
It was so boring we had to play it twice to make sure it was still boring.
Yeah, true.
Or maybe not.
But so go for it, Dave. What did you think? I know
Well,
you played
I played it a little bit before, but still it is most enjoyable. It's a really fun game. I like that there are loads of different strategies based on which colour selection of cards you go for. Shut up, phone. So you can go for the business districts, which grant you loads of extra credit, so you can buy stuff later in the game, or you can go for the quick game like Tom did in one of his, where he just built all of the red warring modules for his station that grant massive victory points really early on, and he got a massive lead. Or you can play the long game and try and get all the slower cards that give you lots of extra victory points at the end of the game, and you get big bonuses for having lots of the same colour and things like that, which you did in the last game, Adam, actually, and that turned out pretty well for you. I think the options for all it are great, and I like the balance of being able to either just go for broke with yourself, or you can try and sod other people over by burning cards that you know they're going to start using, or maybe giving them stuff that won't be as useful as they think it is. Playing mind games with people, basically, and you're always trying to guess what the person behind you's got and they're going to give you, and also what you're going to be giving to someone else, and then you're trying to remember what the last three hands of cards had for playing around with the future hands. So like, oh, is that still going to be in there? Because then I can save my money and get that card, and then someone goes and buys it the turn before you.
Yeah, so that's something worth mentioning, obviously, for people that don't know the rules. So the game works similar
the rules help.
Similar to a Magic the Gathering booster draft, if anyone's played that. If you don't know, basically what happens is every player at the start starts with a hand of 6 cards. They pick the card that they want to use out of that hand, and then they pass the hand either clockwise or anti-clockwise, depending on the turn, to the next player. And then obviously they receive the cards from the player to their right or left. So essentially, you get first pick of the cards to try and match it with your game plan, and then every other player either has the choice of obviously doing the same thing, going for the first pick, or potentially taking out a card that they know is going to be really useful to somebody else, so they can prevent that player from getting it. So it's got that whole tactical element, and obviously the cards make the rounds twice. So as you said, you have to think, this card might not be the best. I could really do with it
again.
Is it going to come back to me? Am I going to get another chance to get this card?
You can play it like that personally as well, because you can see a card that everyone else is probably going to think's a bit shit, that you secretly want, but there's something else you're not going to throw away the opportunity to get. So you take the more important card and then leave that one there thinking it's definitely going to go around, but then sometimes you don't know. Maybe someone's going to turn it into a power reactor because they think no one else will want it.
Yeah.
And it changes with the early game as well, because at the beginning everyone's just going with whatever they've got. They're just building like anything. They don't really care about sodding each other over, and then by year 3, in fact, at that point everyone's got a pretty big station. You're like, oh no, he's got more yellows than me, I need some of these, or he can't have that. Or like, as our last game with Tom, me and Adam were spending most of the time just burning away red cards because we didn't want Tom to have them, because we knew they would just give him loads of extra victory points. Annoyingly, he had a character that let him pull cards from the discard pile and build them once a year, so even the ones we did get rid of, he still took the most powerful ones off and built them. But
that character
luck was the draw.
Yeah, that character was the perfect character for him
for
in
that
that
round,
station.
Yeah,
because there was so many red cards, so there was nothing we could do to get rid of them. But even normally, obviously, you would be discarding them to get rid of them, but even that wasn't working for him, and there was no wonder why he managed to storm
There's
ahead.
only one of those heavy iron cannons in the deck as well, which is a bit annoying, and it's a special card, so there's a chance it doesn't turn up.
Yeah.
So just lucky for him, I guess, and not for us. In fact, that card probably won him the game.
Well, he drew.
Because it was 8 victory points.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, without a doubt, yeah.
So,
but he drew in the end, didn't he?
He drew with you, but he would have lost.
Yeah.
Not for that one.
So first game we played, obviously we were getting used to the game, but you came first, didn't you?
Yeah. Tom stormed ahead again really early on.
Yeah.
Didn't he? With a lot of victory points, and then right at the end I pulled a few objectives out. And
because I went the red route the first time round. Did I come second or did I come third?
You came second. Early game, Tom stormed ahead with all the early victory points, and then at the end of the game, you were a close,
that's right, because of all the turrets and everything. It was really close, though. Both the games we played...
I was only 5 victory points ahead, which was because of my extra objective.
Because of your character again.
Oh, no, sorry, I was 5 ahead, and then I had my objective, so I was up...
First game was Dave, me, then Tom.
Second
game, Tom and I drew, and Dave was just behind us.
5-6 points behind.
Yeah.
So they always generally turn out to be pretty close. I've played 4 games now, and it's always been a good 5 victory points between everyone. So the game's nice and tight, and it's tense all the way through.
Yeah.
You're constantly trying to think a move behind from what you did, and also a couple of moves ahead from what cards are going to go around and come around. So it's good fun.
I'll be honest, I honestly didn't know if I was in the running in that last game at all. I had so many cards that were end game cards, so many cards that said, you get points for every blue card you get. For every blue card you've got on the table, you get points for every green card. You've got points for every green card adjacent to this one, and it was just there was too much for me to sit there and count it all up and work out how far I was. But I was behind both you and Tom until we started doing the end phase. I was behind. I just thought, I know there's going to be a lot there. I know there's a lot of points. That's what I've been working towards. But is it enough? I had a good feeling after you'd counted up your points that I was going to be ahead of you.
Yeah. So,
but I just didn't know if I had enough to catch Tom. And as it turned out, I had exactly enough to catch Tom, but not enough to go ahead.
That's the thing with the end game cards as well. You look at them when you're paying for them to build the module, and you think, they cost 3 credits, and the most it's going to get me is 5 victory points if I build enough of this type of thing by the end of the game. So you think maybe the payoff isn't as good as if you pay 3 credits and get something that gives you 4 victory points instantly.
Yeah.
But then that also, by not giving the victory points straight away, puts you in a less threatening position, so other people may ignore you somewhat and think, I don't mind if you have this card because you're doing rubbish.
Which kind of almost happened with me a few times with you. Because every time you got a card that was like, you
definitely
gained 2 and somebody else gained 1, you kept bumping me up because I was behind. And obviously without those cards, if you'd have given them to Tom, then he definitely would have won. But, I benefited from having those cards.
Yeah.
If we were in
I gave you at least 1 in that game, didn't I?
I think it was
right
1 or 2.
At the beginning.
Yeah. And I think if we were in, say, a 4-player game, that could have been different. Because that would have probably benefited me more, because I still would have been behind, and you probably still would have given me those sort of cards, and maybe somebody else would have as well. So it's kind of interesting. It's a really, really good game. It's really fun, and definitely very tactical.
It's cool,
but definitely good. Definitely,
I like thumbs up.
Yeah, Tom agreed. He said that he really enjoyed it. We're
not lying, honest.
No, the second time round. He said obviously he got to grips with it better and could work out tactics.
Yeah.
He pondered if it wouldn't be better with 4 players just because it opens up more possibilities. Obviously the rounds are a bit... Do you still get 6 cards or is it 2 per player?
You still get 6 cards.
Okay, interesting. So there would be less...
But obviously there's an extra 6 cards because of...
Oh, of course, because there's an extra hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So there's more variety of cards, but you have less opportunity to get each one.
Yes.
Interesting.
Because your hand's going to... I think you get 6 cards. I'll check actually because I'm interested. That makes quite a difference.
Yeah, so with 4 players, and there's a few cards that enable you to get points based on how many other players have done something. So if there are, for every player that has more red cards than you do, you gain 1 victory point. Obviously, in a 3-player game, the maximum you can gain is 2. In a 4-player game, that goes up to 3. So there are a lot of cards that change the game depending on how many players are playing. And I think that would change.
No, you still get 6 cards. There are additional cards for the 4-player game that you don't normally get unless you're playing with 4 players. Speaks for itself. And also you get an additional 6 special location cards. So you get 24 instead of 18, which you get with 3-player.
Okay.
So that would make up... So I guess there's enough 4-player cards to make up 3 of the years, and then the 6 special location cards would make up the 4th year's worth of cards.
Yeah.
For the extra player, so it all balances out.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. We should definitely try and, next time we've got 4 people over.
Yeah, so see what the other people think of it. That would be cool.
Give it a shot.
I enjoyed the beginning of that last game because you could see Tom's brain working away as soon as he saw his character's racial ability, letting him pull stuff out of the discard and reinvent it later on. He was forming operations when he got his opening hand, and it was full of red cards with crazy points values. He was like, I can discard this one and get money for it, and then later on I can pull it out using my ability and build it, and then I can build a reactor using this one and then pull it out later, and I've got enough energy to give it all the boost. I think that's the shield card, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shield generator. If you put extra power cubes on it, you get extra victory points. So he would discard it to turn it into a power reactor, and then revive it later and use the energy from the power reactor he created using that card to get more victory points, which is pretty clever. It's exactly what you want to be doing with his character's racial ability.
Yeah, and the characters add a nice sort of twist to it as well, don't they?
They do.
Each character has a different one, and we were just picking the characters randomly. You know, we weren't choosing them.
It's the same in the rules. The rule says if you can decide to choose them, or if you can't agree, then you do them randomly. So there's no set procedure for that either. So
yeah. No, I think random's good because it
is. Otherwise, I know which card Tom's going to be getting from now in each future game.
And it means that each game is going to be a little bit different because you have a different set of characters. You can't rely on the same abilities. You have to change up your
strategy a bit because if you've got the same personal time. That one I had, I think, was pretty good. Gave me pretty much a guaranteed 5 victory points at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. It's like having my own personal objective that no one else would get.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Game. Definitely gets at least a 4 out of 5 from me. Replayability, I'm sure there's loads there, so it'll last ages, I'm sure. And I'm guaranteed there'll be some expansions for it as well.
Yeah.
They already made some extra ones that they gave out at Spiel West, if you ordered it, and they had even more cards if you did the Kickstarter for it. Or not the... What's the other one? Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and there's one other. I think it was on the other one.
The Cloud Fund.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It might have been Kickstarter.
Did you get the bonus cards?
I got the ones from Spiel.
Yeah.
They didn't turn up in either of these games. I think one of them is an Ambassadorial Shuttle, which is similar to the one I used for you in that other game we played that is very similar to this.
Right.
Where you dock it onto someone else's station.
Yeah.
And in this one it just blocks, so it takes up the space, and then they can't build adjacent to it, so you can block one end of their station off.
I see.
Which is
Does it have a colour?
Creepy. It's green, and it gives you 2 victory points, I think, and it costs 3.
Does it give you 2 victory points, or the
gives
player
you
that
2
you
victory
used?
points,
Okay.
and then blocks off their station. But it goes towards any victory point cards that would say, you get green cards and stuff like that.
Does it? How much does it cost?
2 or 3. It's cheap, I think.
Then, yeah.
So you can use it. I used 2 of them on the same person when they came up in the game I played. He wasn't happy.
Nice. So you got multiples, did you?
You get, I think, 2 in the deck. Yeah.
Okay.
But they're specials, so they don't always come out.
Right. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a lovely little game.
Excellent.
Well presented as well. All the parts are nice. The cards are lovely. The artwork's fantastic, and well made.
Cool. And how much was it, Dave?
I think it was around £20 to £25.
Cool, and that's Among the Stars by Artipia Games.
Correct.
So if you're interested in space-based economic building structure games, stuff like that, then well worth picking up.
Plus, it's really quick and easy to learn.
Yeah. First game was a lot longer. That second game went quickly. Cool. Okay.
Next up.
Yeah, well, that was, as I said, because we played 2 games of that, we didn't play anything else. So there's no Necromunda or Mordheim or anything like that.
I played a Battle of Necromunda and Mordheim in my head while we were playing Among the Stars. That's probably why it took so long.
I was about to say, is that why it took you 15 minutes per turn?
It wasn't that bad. Analysis paralysis, as someone I know likes to say. Right.
Yes.
So yeah, the games went well in my head. I think I won both of them, which is about standard anyway. So let's move on.
Yeah, apart from the one that you lost. But cool, okay. Well, let's move on to what we are doing soon. What we got planned for the hobbies in general?
I'm going to meet some friends at the weekend, and we're going to play many board games, I hope. Someone's bringing along the Blood Bowl Team Manager card game, which I guess is like a mix of Dominion and maybe Among the Stars. I haven't played it, so I don't know. But I remember we saw it when we went to Games Day in 2011, was it?
Yeah, I remember them playing that.
And quite a few people were quite interested. It's got good ratings on Board Game Geek. Seems to be pretty popular. So hopefully that's good. I'm taking Formula D, which is the new version of the game, which I haven't played, although the rules are virtually exactly the same. So we're going to play that, and there's normally about 8 of us, so that's good because you can get up to 10 people. So I'll play that and get back to people, let them know what I think on that one. And I think there'll be some other games, but standard ones like Catan, and I might take Among the Stars because a few people there will like it. So board gamey weekend for me, and then hobby wise, hopefully I will try and sort out my flesh scheme for my Marauders. Perhaps a bit more of that. I need to get some black and white paint though, because there's the 2 that I'm out of, very annoyingly. Ooh, there was something else. No, it's lost. I can't remember what it was. Probably wasn't important, like
No,
most of the things
fair.
that I say.
Yeah, that's true.
How
For
about
me,
you?
nothing much really.
That's not what they want to hear.
Yeah, I've got other things going on this weekend, like setting up a new TV tomorrow and getting drunk tomorrow night.
Don't get drunk before you set the TV up. That's not going to go very well then.
No. Well, I'm not just going to get drunk at home on my own. I'm actually going out and meeting people.
Oh, okay. That's
But
novel.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, so I mean, I'll try and get some painting done over the weekend. I think I painted a couple of Eschers, as I mentioned before. If I can get another couple done this weekend, that'd be cool. Slowly chipping my way through the gang.
Mm-hmm.
Might put together the new models that I got as well.
Yeah, those sexy little models.
Yeah, just for the sake of getting them out. And we may possibly play some games on Sunday.
Yes, depending when people get back from places.
Yeah, Tom was thinking about coming over. We was thinking about playing the
possibly playing the Game of Thrones board game.
Game of Thrones board game, bit
Or
Necromunda,
filing down a load of Dungeon
Super
Explore
Dungeon
models.
Explore models. Yeah, we need to
Which
get
we
that
should
done.
really do rather than keep saying we're going to do it in the future.
They're just it's so demoralising. The plastics are so hard. Models are lovely, but
Yeah.
oh god, I just don't want to spend hours filing.
I'll bring my angle grinder.
Yeah, that's what I was
angle
thinking.
grinder.
I got a Dremel. I want you to take that to them.
I think it would work. I remember the other thing.
Go on then.
It wasn't that actually that interesting, but I found a bunch of old models that a friend had given me, and I'm going to strip them down and sell them on eBay. So it's Dark Angel stuff, and that's not really news, but there you go.
I thought you were collecting Dark Angel stuff.
I am. Sorry, that was misleading. I found a Dark Angels metal land speeder, which I don't really like because it's old and it's metal and it's hard and it's just going to fall over because it's so fucking heavy. So I'm going to strip that down and sell it on eBay. The other stuff is all my old Chaos metal miniatures that I've got for
Fantasy.
40k.
Oh, 40K.
Not fantasy, not fantasy because I would use them. Which I have quite a few of, and I never really used Chaos in 40k, so I'm going to get rid of them.
Fair enough. Yeah, if you may as well, you know, sell them and fund stuff you are going to use.
Yep, stuff that I will use and probably won't ever paint. No, that's going to change.
Good luck with that. Good
Yeah.
luck with that. Cool.
Then you have a couple of things you were noting that you wanted to mention.
One
wasn't the light bulbs. What was it? Igneous.
I do.
Google.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we could mention them
Well, you
quickly.
don't have to. It's a game.
It is a game. There's that new game that Google are developing called Ingress. So it's like a GPS location-based battle game. It's got this whole big story behind it about how something's invading the world, or there are these PowerPoints that are focused around sites of human like culture and ingenuity and stuff like this. It's really weird. Essentially what happens is players go out into the world and can take pictures of points of interest within their cities. So actual pictures. So they'll go up to a statue or a piece of art or a very popular meeting place or something like this, and they'll take a picture of it and they'll submit it to Google. Google then vet the pictures, and if they choose it as valid, then that place becomes like a beacon, and the beacon can then be captured by... There are two forces in the world. So when you start, you get to pick either the Resistance or the Enlightened.
Ooh.
And basically, each group of players are attempting to attack, hack, and capture these beacons. So you use the game, you log in, and you can see all the beacons are near you in your city. You then have to physically go there.
Cool.
And you can set up like hacking terminals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you hack the location. So if somebody's taking the picture, let's use London as an example. I'm sure that Nelson's Column is one of the beacons. I don't have the game yet, which is why I'm hypothesising here. So you go to Nelson's Column, physically go there with your phone, sit outside, set up hacking beacons if your side isn't currently controlling that point, and you can hack the thing, and you can get points from doing things like the more you travel with the game, you collect points which are then used to spend to create hacking terminals and shields if you own the point and stuff like this. So each
It's
team,
kind of like PlanetSide, but real world.
Yeah.
You walk around, you hack the facilities, and then move on to the next one.
or you
Pretty
can
cool.
shore them up.
Yeah.
It could be that, the Enlightened, if we were on the Enlightened side, we've currently got the majority of portals in London, so we're going to be going around setting up traps and defences for people, and you can see where other people are on the map and where they're trying to hack your terminals, and you can go up there and punch them in the face.
It seems almost so stupidly obvious that someone hasn't done it before, given the state of social media maybe and camera phone.
There are a lot of GPS-based war games, but I think they're more concentrated on just sort of like beating other players as opposed to this kind of like, it's almost like an MMO style approach to it, having two factions, Horde Alliance, whatever. And, having to work together. But I like the idea that you have to physically go somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
So I like the idea of, you could try and find a lesser known portal or, one that hasn't got as many people nearby it and go and capture it. And, if you've gone out of your way, potentially people have to also go out of their way to get it back.
Yeah.
But it
so
seems
you make
really
it hard
cool.
for them. So it's a bit like Real Warfare in a way. You put the effort into blindsiding someone and they've got to go out of their way to fix it up.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I was reading, posts about people that, they literally group together, so they'll contact other people on the same faction as them in the same city, and they'll say, right, we need to take back point X. So, they'll literally all get together, meet at point X, and all hack it together to increase the chances that they're going to get it. It reminds me of...
So it is PlanetSide.
Yeah, well, it reminds me of like Eve.
Yeah.
Of concentrated attacks on a station or something like that,
Awesome. Yeah, I want this.
Yeah, well, this is the thing.
Well, that's what we want to know, isn't it? How do we get involved, Adam? Tell us.
Well, this is the problem. Yes, I do know, and no, I'm not involved, even though I know. Basically, it's still
Google
under...
ban-hammered you?
No, it's still under development by Google, and as such, it's in closed beta. So you can register your interest on the ingress.com, I believe it is called, website.
Yeah.
And you can put in your email, and then they will email you codes and when they actually launch codes. So you can download the app, it's on the App Store, it's sitting on my phone, and I can do nothing with it because I need an activation code to get in. So, yeah, I guess we've just got to sit and wait.
Sit and wait, yeah.
Google, if you're listening to me, I really want a code.
Sit and wait for Google's games, like you have to sit and wait for their phones. I want a Nexus 4.
Yeah, I want a Nexus 4 as well, and an Ingress code. Hurry up, Google. Sort your lives out. I want to give you money, but you can't.
Stop stopping me from giving you my money.
But yeah, so yeah, that's Ingress, and yeah, I really want to be a part of it.
Cool.
But yeah, that was pretty much it from me.
Okay. Look it up.
But yeah, so anyway, so yeah, that's us for this week, I think. I say we'll potentially be playing on Sunday. Don't know if we'll record a podcast.
Probably won't because we don't like you.
That's just Dave. Maybe we'll do a small one. Maybe a short one or something. I don't know. Well, that's definitely you. But yeah, anyway, well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You can, if you want to contact us for any reason, you can leave a message on our YouTube channel, which is Attic Gaming Club. You can also get us on Facebook or Twitter at Attic Gaming Club again. Or finally, you can send us an email or atticgamingclub@gmail.com. So yeah, this is me, Adam, and Dave.
Dave, last survivor of the Nostromo, signing off.
Signing off for today. Yeah, well, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you soon.
Ciao, bye, love you.
Bye.